Dude, if Just couldn't grow a beard, his face would look huge.
I wish I could grow a beard. Just has a beard.
Just has a big face like Troy.
Oh, Troy.
I wish I
It's not a big face. It's a round face.
Yeah, big round face.
Yes. Big. What's up, everybody?
I like it.
Jump the gun.
I like it.
And welcome back to another episode of For Dummies. We have Mrs. Skullface. She's so eager to speak on the microphone this evening.
Hello.
And we have Robert Detoff.
Hello.
And we have Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
Tonight, we are supposed to do 2 episodes. The second one has already become the topic of dispute. So we're going to go ahead with the first one and see where it goes. And that is collecting ruts. I know that it has happened to me and know that it has happened to Jisk. Laura doesn't really collect anything other than receipts. But I'm actually going through one now. But Jisk, why don't you talk about the one that you went through just recently?
Masterpiece Transformers is the only thing I collect. I don't mess around with anything else. Yeah, so it's season 1, season 2 in the movie bots, and I collect 1 for each mode. So if it's a triple changer, then I have 3.
Ugh,
and
of the same thing.
Well, no, I'll try and get different modes.
If you put ice cream on it, it's a la mode.
When I first started doing that, I didn't know if that's what it was. I was feeling it, so I sold a bunch, and then I decided that's not the way I wanted to go, and I got back in. And then when I bought Detolfs, I wasn't feeling it.
Shocker!
I didn't make the move to sell those. Now my rut, honestly, is really just with my display. Back to the Detolfs just not being, it's just not right.
And so you still have all these doubles?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Weren't you going to sell everything at some point?
I sold half of all the doubles.
Half.
And then I decided it wasn't the way to go, and I bought them all back.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Don't do that. If you decide to sell them, sell them at a loss and then go buy them back, I think that might be enough to make my head explode.
Yeah.
So the right thing would have been to take them off the shelf like Bobby's been doing and just put them away. But, I'm an impulse kind of dude.
What got you out of it?
Out of the rut?
Yeah.
It was realizing that what I wanted to do was collect the doubles. That's what I wanted in my collection. So it just helped me to refocus and re-energize that collector spirit. Now once I figured out okay, I know my display is what's not working, so I have to revamp that. It's gotten me hyped to start doing that again. It's refocusing is what gets you through it.
Yeah, displaying is the major challenge that I'm having as well. I'm going through a rut myself currently, and that would
be an understatement.
I almost panicked and sold it all. What happened with me was I made a diorama for my Transformer shelf, and it's interesting because I've been making all these Star Wars dioramas, and I haven't made any Transformer dioramas. And I was thinking to myself, you should make one. But then I kept saying to myself, no, wait until one shelf is done, then make it. But then I was like, well, I'm making plenty of Star Wars ones, and they're not done. And I'm happy to put new additions right inside the diorama. So after the conversation that we had recently, Laura was like, well, let's do one. So I did one. And I made a cartoon-esque accurate interior Nemesis.
The purple paneled walls and stuff.
Correct. And got it all done, put it in there. I put all the figures in it. I was like, there it is. It's done. I stepped back and I looked at it and I was like, that looks really stupid.
I feel like because the cartoon aesthetic is so simple, it's so simplistic, it's really difficult to pull off. Because your Star Wars stuff is so intricate, and you can capture the spirit of something, but really there's so much detail and you can really get involved there. And it's even forgiving of mistakes, I would think. I mean, the stuff looks beautiful that you guys did together, but I'm sure you made mistakes, but you can't even tell. But when something is plain with lines, if the stuff isn't perfect in its simplicity, it's going to look off.
He's saying yours isn't perfect.
It's not that makes me not like it, though. A lot of these super hyper cartoon accurate figures like MP36, stepping back and looking at these super cartoon accurate figures in this fairly super accurate cartoon world, and I realized, oh no, G1 looks stupid.
Do you think that part of that problem is because the masterpiece aesthetic itself diverged?
Yes.
So if you have the old school, quote unquote, masterpiece, like, modern take on something as opposed to the new, super simplistic, it just doesn't work now.
Well, I've contemplated selling my MP36 and getting a Polyon back.
Wow. Let me give you my take on it, because I saw that diorama, and I don't even think you like presented it, but I just saw it in like either a photo, somewhere I saw it.
I posted one picture, and like usually you can tell if I'm proud of something because I post it everywhere. I posted one picture on my Facebook, and with a defeatist attitude, I was like still trying to figure out a way to make this stuff look good.
I don't think it was that bad. Honestly, my opinion.
Robert, you are just being very disruptive this evening.
Robert's going to get hit by a bus at some point in his life.
It's going to make a funny sound like splat, and somebody on the sidewalk's going to go splat.
All right, so going back, I didn't think that looked that bad. The problem is I think putting Transformers in a Billy is not the way to go either.
I'm not necessarily opposed to that train of thought. I think that it is an 80% problem with environment and a 20% problem of lighting. On top of that, I'm trying something new. I'm currently trying a diorama for a shelf, the Stunnicon shelf, of a more photoreal background with the philosophy of creating realistic backgrounds for these hyper cartoon looking figures. I'm not doing simplistic. I am absolutely sure that simplistic is not the way. I've even been looking at other people's pictures where they have dioramas of arcs and nemesises and all that kind of stuff. Nemesi, I'm not sure the plural on that. And I've looked at them and I've been like, yeah, it looks good at a glance, but when you really imagine yourself living with that on a shelf, it looks stupid.
Have you ever thought about doing the backdrops super minimalist? Like, because you ever think about the G1 cartoon, they were like kind of fuzzy in the background.
Yeah, but I don't want it to look like the cartoon. I don't have any fear about my ability to successfully pull this diorama off. It's just whether or not these toys are going to look good in it. That's my fear.
Are you at that point where you're like, okay, it's not the figures and this whole line that I'm not in love with. It is the display. It's like, is that kind of where your thought is right now?
It's both.
He's been like super moody questioning all this.
MP Shockwave, he's got to go. MP Megatron probably has to go. MP Soundwave, fine. Rumble and Frenzy, fine, because they're small. The Insecticons from Fans Toys look perfect.
So you're getting rid of all this new Hypertoon stuff.
Yeah. Correct.
But then are you going to like the Make Toys Inferno and Grapple?
I got to go on I got to go on a case by case basis. One might not necessarily bother me as much as the next. You know what I mean? Megatron is the centerpiece of that shelf. Shockwave is like basically 1/3 of that shelf. So with 2/3 of that shelf looking that way, it looks dumb. It doesn't look like I have $1,000 worth of toys on there. It looks like I bought them all at Toys R Us.
No, I hear you. You know what's funny? X-Transbots, with their Stunnicons, they touch both buttons.
Well, I don't have any fear about the Fans Toys ones either.
Right.
I don't know. I just need to try something new. I need to figure out where these things are going to live and how they're going to live there.
Yeah.
I like that you're getting rid of that terry cloth Shockwave. That's because he's very sore.
Dude, nice reference.
Honestly, I think the best Shockwave is the Cloud one. What do you call it? And I know
the Cloud 9.
Yeah, maybe.
9 is the best one.
But I'm not buying another one because I have the Quake Wave and that's fine.
Quake Wave is leagues better than MP Shockwave aesthetically. Just aesthetically speaking. It just has that presence.
But that's what I'm going through right now. And this is the first rut that I've gone through as a collector since I started. But it all happened.
It's not a bad run.
No, it's not. But it all happened because I was trying to figure out how to make them look good.
I'm in a rut right now. Do you remember Fraggle Rock?
Hey, just keep it show up late to his rut.
Remember Fraggle Rock? Why would Gobo go all the way through the Gorg's realm? What was he doing there? You remember?
No.
Going to see, but anyway, they would go to see the trash heap, right? Gobo would go to see it, and she would impart wisdom. The trash heap has spoken. Yeah. That's how I feel. I'm the trash heap right now.
Why?
I'm drowning in figures. On my desktop, I have Quietus, I have my Iron Factory 6-shot, Magic Square Ultra Magnus, and MP Cheetor standing around because my shelves... Hanging
around the town with the clowns.
It's like the making of a bad buddy comedy. I can't let go of old stuff. And the only way I can fix my displays is if I purge. And I need to like really purge my chug scale third-party stuff.
Have you decided which of those toys sparks joy and which ones don't?
They all do.
No, they don't. They don't.
The The sum
There's
of
no
their
way.
parts. Generation Toy Devastator, I love. Unique Toys Abominus, I love. I love my original X-Transbot Sharks. They've got to go. I've got to make room.
Keep the sharks. He loves the sharks, and let go.
I've got shelves of things that I've got to decide, you know what? Yes, you bring me joy, but now we've got to decide, you know what? Joy is not black and white. There are certain shades of joy. The joy of collecting has plummeted. There was that moment where you'd put it on the shelf. In your mind's eye, a light would shine on that shelf, and then you just sit back and look at it.
That's what I thought was going to happen with me.
I don't get that anymore. And it's just because I have no room.
I still get it. I still get it with my Star Wars stuff.
Star Wars stuff that just has the dioramas or all of the Star Wars stuff?
Just the dioramas. And then the Hot Toys. I get it from the Hot Toys as well.
It's a display problem. It's not a figure problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I agree. I think, like I said,
they're
I think
related.
Yes, they are. They are because, like, the Star Wars stuff is trying to look real. A lot of this masterpiece stuff is trying to look cartoony. When you put the cartoony pieces in the cartoony world, it looks like the cartoon.
Cartoony?
And the problem is that the cartoon looks like. You know, it's beautiful for what it is, but it doesn't look good objectively.
Yeah, I was thinking about that recently, man. Like, I feel like as kids, we filled in the blanks for the
Of course,
cartoon.
and your sensibilities are different.
Yeah.
You're not looking at it with a critical eye. You're 5. Well,
Why do I want
Robert was
something to look
16.
like that?
Robert drove home to watch it.
What?
Robert was like, "Oh, I'm gonna skip 7th period to get over watch this.
You guys are all mean.
I'm gonna audit this class so I can go and watch this."
But yeah, I think that it's you know, like we talked about, when I walked into certain rooms, they make me feel good, and I need my Transformer collection to do that. I'm going to try a couple different tricks, and if that doesn't work, I need to start rethinking, and that either means rethinking what I'm buying or rethinking how I'm showing it off.
2019 Honda Odyssey.
A Brooklyn bagel with butter on it.
Pizza bagel.
Both.
Fermented fruit.
Marie Kona praying in a house.
Condo.
Kona, whatever. You say Conda, I say Kona.